Otis, you want to play sheets? Do you want to play sheets? Hi, everybody. Sorry I didn't go on live yesterday, but I'm here now. And I was getting ready to set up for a live, and I realized I should change my bed sheets. And one of the things that Otis and I have always liked to do since he was a teeny tiny kitten was when I go to change the bed sheets, he likes to go under them, and then we play this game. So I'm going to put the sheets on, and hopefully he'll be into it. But I called him in here, and I told him we were doing sheets. So let's see if he doesn't... We don't have the time of our lives all together, okay? So I don't know if your hands are like calloused and you can handle cat bites. This is a really fun game. But if you can't handle cat bites, then don't do it. Sometimes I put my sweater down like a glove, and then he knows. If I put this on my hand, he knows he can bite me. But if I scream, ouch, I'm okay. That's just me telling him it's too much. Okay, so we got the bottom sheet. You ready, bud? You want to play? You want to play sheets? Okay, so basically the real fun happens when he realizes what we're doing. And that may take a moment. So, all right, clean flannel sheets from the dryer. Now, I thought that I would like flannel sheets. They're too hot, you know, but they're great. They're great if you're cold. But man, if you're a hot sleeper, they're too hot. And I always put them on wrong the first time. Yep, I try one corner and it's not the right way. That's okay. Maybe because I keep saying that. It's the law of attraction. Stop saying that, Jennifer. All right, so you get your sheets on. Sorry, I didn't really plan this out. Doing it yourself is so easy. I mean, I could have help if I asked for it. Don't think that I'm some poor woman who can't take care of herself. Okay, stay there. Right, Otis? That's hard. The birds are chirping. The day is gonna be good. Okay, buddy, I gotta put on the sheet now. I gotta put on the sheet now. See ya. Don't worry, he's okay. He'll be out in a second. You coming? We got the top sheet to put on. Come on. Come on. No? You gonna stay? Okay, see ya. He wants me to play with him, but it's super trippy to watch, like... you remember that movie, and it's a horrible movie, The Butterfly Effect? When they had the dog in the bag, that's what that always reminds me of, and that's a horrible thing to say, I apologize, but that's what it reminds me of. So I'm going to try and get this other corner under so that it doesn't just pop off tomorrow, because that's a big thing that happens, isn't it? Buddy? 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 He can hear me with my rings, so that's a fun thing. Buddy? 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 Where are you at? Where's my Otis? There's your tail. I found it. Where are you at? Come here. Ah! Come here. Come here. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where's your head? Where's your head? There? Okay. Look. That's super spooky, right? Ew, it looks so gross. Come out here. You went out. Oops. Come on. Need some air? Hi, bud. Come on. We gotta put on the top sheet now. Are you gonna go back? Don't worry, you can get out. Look. Come on. Come on. Nobody can see you down there, Buster. Come on, Otis. Come on. Come on, we gotta do the rest. Come out. Come on. He does need a little encouraging. Okay, now he's like all staticky. Okay, let's get the other sheet on, bud. Sheets! Sheets! And then I was thinking we'd do Hoodoo in bed this morning because it's been a while. And I was reading The 365 Days of Hoodoo by Stephanie Rose Bird and was getting inspired this morning. And, oh yeah, there's a towel. I love you, you little stinker. But he knows that when the sheet is in between me and him, like, it's different. It's like, it's not me and it's not him. It's this game that we play. And of course, I don't know he thinks that, but I do know that he thinks that at the same time. I don't know how to explain that too well. So, I have not done my hair or makeup or anything. My biggest apologies. But I was getting ready to do that, and I thought, well, I should show them the Sheets game that me and Otis play because it's so much fun, and it gets so much laughs, and it's so great, and we've had a lot of fun doing it over the years. I have this giant bed. There we go. Okay. Whew. So, let's get Otis under the sheets. Come on, bud. You want to play? You want to play before I put the big one on? You want to play again? Do you want to play again? No? Are you done? Are you done playing sheets? Well, get up here then. Get on the top. He's done. But that was fun. You guys got to see him crawl around a little bit. I think these flannel sheets are way too thick and hot for him to be comfortable doing that playing thing. Whereas if you have like a super thin sheet, you know, they can not get so hot. They already have a big fur coat. And so I really recommend the thin sheets for this. But we wanted to say hi and say that we were having fun this morning, and it's a bloody beautiful day. So, yeah. Hi, everybody. Hi, Raven. Hi, Sherry Bug. Let's see what everybody's saying. Otis. So yeah, apologies for I didn't even get dressed. I put on a sweater. Okay, let's see what people are saying. Good morning. I need to wash my face. Okay. Magical Mandy said, good morning, beautiful. Well, good morning, beautiful. Sherry Bug D, hello. Hello! Spirit Moon, good morning. So nice to see you. Yes, and she put a sunshine emoji. Look, the sun is shining today. It's such a gorgeous day. Really, really beautiful. Oh, and right out my window, do you see what's blossomed out there? Do you see that? We could go forage it today. It's dogwood. Dogwood. Let's read quickly about dogwood in Scott Cunningham's book, which I literally always have with me. Always. If I go somewhere, it goes in the backpack. So, Vile Recognition. Hi, honey. How are you? Good morning, pretty lady. I joined. You miss joining live so much. Yeah, they've been really, really draining for me. But I think if I don't focus on the comments until I'm done saying what I'm saying, it's going to work out a lot better than me interrupting my thought to do the comments. Because if you're watching it and we're not live and you can't see the chat box, or you don't look to see the chat box, I watched it back without the chat box and it's like really hard to watch. So I need to focus more on checking into comments. And if any of you are having trouble live streaming, that's a good suggestion that I feel I could improve on, and what's making it less stressful for me is actually like saying what I have to say, perhaps not even looking at myself so I don't see comments, perhaps just looking out the window and saying what I have to say, and then kind of catching back up on comments. And then maybe even making notes, like here are 10 points I want to talk about in this live stream, and just have those 10 bullet points and like mark them off as you get through. That's something I just thought of, and it's like that's what I'm going to be doing in between when I say goodbye and when I come back on, because I'm definitely going live again today. I just wanted to show you this game with Otis super quick while I was prepping. And I've done more work on the pinup Oracle deck. More work on that, so that'll be a bullet point. I have 5 cat Oracle decks that are coming out. My Taxi Driver Wisdom Oracle deck is done and up on the Etsy. These are all one-of-a-kind decks. So let's get back to the comments. Sherry Bug says, your black lab will lay under the comforter on the bed until she is so warm she is panting. Animals and blankets. Totally. And you know what's funny? My daughter Lily, she loves blankets. Like, every year for Christmas, we always get her a blanket for Christmas and her birthday. And it's just like one of those super soft, like microfiber types. Or last Christmas, I got her this big red comforter for her bed, and she like loves it, and it's kind of like, but it's not super thick. So yeah, the flannel sheets, if you're a cold sleeping person, you're always cold, I recommend these flannel sheets, otherwise they're way too hot. Raven Sandmoon, hi Jen, nice to see you. Or, hi Raven, nice to see you. She says hi Jen, sorry it's early for me. Hi B, how are you? So good to see you. I loved watching your cat decks. That's funny, I was talking about those cat oracle decks. No, not Mr. Badger. Uncle Badger. I don't want to call you my Uncle Thomas, but I will. Can I still call you Thomas, though? Wow, I didn't know dogwood grows up north. Also, it does. Now, there's a few different types, right? And that would be something that Alex would be more keen to tell you about, because he knows more about it. But dogwood... A, B, C, D. Come on, Jennifer. No, I know how it goes. Datura. I wanted to read about that because I found it in a movie. I watched a movie with witches the other night, and they had given someone, they microdosed someone Datura, and it was like, well, it's very extremely poisonous. It says, poison, Datura is extremely poisonous. Do not eat. Sensitive skin may be irritated simply by touching the plant. Well, it induces this sleep, or it can also cause these like hallucinations. And the movie I watched, I'm so glad I waited till the end, because it was a bunch of these witches like putting fire out of their hands and things that I was like, I don't completely believe that that can't be done, but okay. And so, but then at the end of the movie, you realize that those things weren't really happening. They had just microdosed him with Datura, so he was tripping on this like week-long, a day-long. They started microdosing him in the morning and then put some in his wine right before this thing, and they were paying him back for being a horrible, horrible man that took advantage of women without them saying yes. So anyway, the whole time you're like backing these witches for what they're doing, because anybody who does that to many, many women is a horrible person and belongs in jail, obviously. But anyway, I'm like, they were totally using herbal alchemy in the movie, and I'm glad I watched till the end, because if I hadn't watched until the end, I wouldn't have seen that, that it wasn't a real hallucination, and they weren't really putting fire out of their hands, it was just the Datura. So anyway, if anyone wants the name of that movie, I've just actually ruined it for them. I don't suggest that you ask for the name of it from me, because if you ever want to watch it. But I found it on Hulu. So dogwood, we were talking about in comments. Vile says, absolutely, my dear, we don't want to drink. No, it's not you guys. It's not you guys. It's just, draining. It's not like it's you guys. And I can only, it doesn't drain me if I don't put my face on camera. But it is draining if I stress too much about, like, is this getting boring? There's a lot that goes on in my head while I'm still trying to talk. And then I kind of space out on the topic because I don't edit and I don't plan anything. I just fucking push record and start talking. Otis, he's still back there. He's a lazy one. No, I'm kidding. I've been lazy the last couple days. Earthly Taurus, I was just commenting on one of your videos because you were reading the Lewin's Almanac, the 365 Almanac, and I don't have that for 2019. Yeah, I'm excited to reveal my first cat oracle deck as soon as it's done. The thing is I start working on so many things at one time, like, I really should just sit down and do one thing, but then I get bored with it, and then the art becomes, you can tell at the end, gets bored, and so if I just put like an hour or two into them a little bit each time that I sit down to work on these decks, and then I work on a little bit each time, it gives my mind like a new creative. So I don't know if you guys ever get writer's block or artist block, maybe work on a couple things at once. It might help you be like new ideas, and then you could be working on this and have a new idea for that, and you know, maybe it didn't work for this, but it works for that. So Thomas says, I found a message from Lunea. I think she's asleep at the moment at 3 a.m. Yeah, see, I mean, I'm trying to get back on Muggle time a little bit. Being awake with the sun completely helps my my energy level these days. In darkness and the moon has been depressing these days, so I don't know how to explain that, because it used to be opposite, you know. But you just do what you feel you need to do at the moment, I guess. I got all my herbs organized, though. Well, I mean, I don't know. They're all over the house now, but, like, at least I can see them and know where they're at and whatnot. So I'm excited to show you guys that today. Michelle Cantrell said, I had a question about drying chicken legs. My chicken died this morning. Oh, darling, I'm so sorry. I bet it was a special chicken, too. Unexpectedly, and you figured you'd save his leg. Absolutely. Yes, yes. And, you know, the beak, that's another really awesome place to save the skull. And Violet Tame. So right now I'm talking to Michelle Cantrell. And don't worry, we'll get to dogwood. Violet Tames has a channel, Taimes. She doesn't have very many subscribers. Can't for the life of me figure out why. But she shows you how to take an animal that you've found in the woods that's fully clothed in flesh and feathers, or fur, and clean it. Now, one way that she suggests, and I totally suggest you guys watch her videos, she taxidermied a beaver on a live stream, like, and made it into this thing for her mom. It blows my mind. She's 18 years old. You know, and she's been witching since her whole life, and she's just amazing. So anyway, you can, well, when I get to Texas, and this is one of the stipulations for me going to Texas, because there's a lot that I'm going to need to do this deal. I'm going to be getting a taxidermy bug tank. Now, what that is you can get these bugs by the thousands on eBay. If you are frightened of bugs, probably not the best way to do it. You could do it in the pot method, which I'm about to explain. But one of the easiest and quickest ways, because this takes a long time, if you're not going to scrape off the stuff yourself, you know. So you get a tank, and you get these flesh-eating beetles, and you put them in like an aquarium, you know, that has like a locking lid with no like wire mesh, not like a true aquarium, one that has a top that you can like, you know. Okay, and you get those, and you can get them on eBay by the thousands. Maybe you can get a few thousand for $50. Okay, and when you find things, because in Texas I found birds on the beach every single day, and I wanted these bird legs because I want to make necklaces out of them. But there's no real way to, like, when you're just foraging for stuff, you see a dead bird, gross, right? No. Gloves in a plastic bag, just maybe carry a backpack, have that stuff in there while you're going down the beach. It'll also help keep you from burning your back while you're on the beach. So, and then I'll have a bug tank at home, and then so when I get these things, now if I wanted the feathers off that bird, I would need to pluck them first and clean them. Then when you would have the bird that was all the feathers away, you can just drop it into the tank, and the bugs will eat it all clean to where it's just bones and beak. Things like that, right? And so you'd have your chicken's skull, you'd have their, you know, but for the chicken's foot, all that would be left would be a nub, because the whole entire chicken's foot is basically just tendons and ligaments and skin until you get to the ankle stump. I don't like to say stump, but think of a chicken's anatomy, you know. Where's the chicken foot, for crying out loud? I mean, with all the chicken's feet I have. Well, you guys know what a chicken's foot looks like, but okay. So, but her chicken just died this morning, okay? Oh, right, about the bug tank. If you don't have a thing to put in there, those bugs still need to eat. So what you do is you just get, when your meat, like your leftovers or a piece of raw meat or whatever, just throw it in there, and it doesn't matter if it's rotten, because remember, these bugs are used to eating rotten meat. I know, such a lovely topic to be talking about first thing in the morning. But for Michelle, for your chicken's feet, there's 2 ways you can do it. Now, if you only have one dehydrator, I don't suggest you dehydrate it. I suggest that you just put them into salt. That's all you have to do. If you want the shape to be in a certain shape, like, I'm sure you don't want to do this with your personal chicken's foot. But, you know, you can do them in this shape, you can do them in this shape, you can do them in a claw shape, you can do them all sprawled out. It just depends on how you put them in there. So you can use wire to shape the hand how you want it to be shaped, because otherwise when it dries it can just kind of curl into its own thing. You can also shape them to hold on to when I put them in the dehydrator, I just use string and I tie them around like little glass vials, and these are for necklaces, for like herbs to go inside of there. Obviously this doesn't stay tied on like this, but this is how I got it to be in the shape to hold on to this little jar. Here's a couple more. So if you wanted to do something like that, you would just put string or wire around it to hold whatever you wanted it to hold, and then just like get a big thing of pickling salt, and they can, sometimes they sell that by the, I don't know, gallon or whatever in the pickling canning section of your grocery store or Walmart or whatever. I hate to use Walmart, but that's what I can afford at the moment. So pure just salt, and that process takes quite a lot longer than a dehydrator. A dehydrator is a continuous. Now here's the thing also. When you use a dehydrator, it doesn't get up to the temperature to actually cook chicken. Okay, so a dehydrator only gets up usually to about 145, 150, because it's dehydrating, it's not cooking. Well, chicken needs, so says the Food Health Department of Washington State, I don't know what your state says, but chicken needs to be between 165 and 170 to kill salmonella and other bacteria, foodborne illness, whatever. Dehydrators don't get that hot. I know that for sure. I don't even think the fancy pants Cabela's one gets that hot, because again, it's a dehydrator, not an oven. So basically, if you put this in your dehydrator, I have a dehydrator that's just for dead stuff, raw stuff, chicken stuff, spiders, bees. I have an animal dehydrator that I know that even if I touch it with my hands, that I should wash my hands after, because raw chicken touched that at some point. Yes, I wash it in between, but with chicken, man, chicken scares me, and raw chicken scares me. And if I didn't like these little guys so much, I don't even cook regular chicken because I'm terrified. And when my husband cooks it, because he's a messy cook, I'm not even in the kitchen, because I'll see it touch something and be like, I have an egg! You know, and then, so God bless him for cooking the chicken. But generally that does go out on the grill. So anyway, I hope that answered your question about how to do your chicken's feet, and I'm sorry that your chicken passed away this morning. You know, something that I always do is I light a candle. And yesterday, I had an offering from Sir Otis on my front porch. However, it could have been Jack, and if it was Jack, it was an offering to Alex, because I found yesterday morning when my mom came to bring me some breakfast, I opened the door and there was a decapitated mouse, like, on its back like this. And if you don't think your cats and animals do their own things to honor you and bring you blessings, well, I think that you might be wrong. When, you know, a lot of people say it's like they're showing you what they've done or something. I think at least my cats. I think they're giving me offerings for what I do for them. Like, I feed them every day. I give them love every day. I talk to them like people. I treat them really nice. They had a cat birthday where they all had bow ties. Like, you know, I'm a cat mom. And so they bring me these decapitated birds all the time. Now, this one wasn't really Otis's style. This one was Otis's style, not Jack's. And I don't really want to go into detail, but they have different ways of doing that. But those are the 2 boys of the 5 cats. We have 3 girls and 2 boys. So maybe boys just like to, I don't know. And where's the head? That's what my whole question is always. Where is the head? So I'll just leave it there. Michelle, I really hope I answered your question. Let me read the rest. Is there anything special you need to do to it? You just figured you'd save his legs and some feathers from it. Yeah, so just, you could either do it in salt or dehydrator, but if you do it in a dehydrator, I wouldn't ever use that dehydrator for something you're going to eat from again. Or use in your herbal cabinet and such. Okay. Hello, Madam Butterfly. How are you? Yes, I'm good. I'm glad that you're here. Well, that's a thing you learned today. Yeah, about dogwood. So let's read about that dogwood, because I got stuck on Datura. Okay, because that movie I watched yesterday. Dogwood! It's not a ton to say about it, but here's a picture of the flower, and here's a real picture of the flower out my window. It's on a tree. Do you see it there? The white flowers on the green branches. They're beautiful. And now the inside of the, like, stamen, I think it's called, of the flower, the you know, there's the petals, the circle part on the inside, it's like a lime green. It's not yellow, it's lime green. And the leaves are like almost a very minty green. So they're very pretty. It doesn't say a ton in here, but here's what it does say about dogwood in Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. Dogwood, Cornus florida. G. Folk names: boxwood, budwood, dogtree, Florida dogwood, flowering cornel. Flowering dog... Sorry. I'm totally a child. I'm sorry. Flowering dogwood, green oyster, Virginia dogwood. Okay. Stop laughing. Powers, wishes, and protection. Magical uses. Place the sap of the dogwood. Okay, so now I'm going to try and collect sap if the tree says it's okay. And what you would need to do that is perhaps, well, first you would look all over the tree to find if there's a place that's sapping. And this is a really big tree. I would say it's like 15, 25 years old. So if I want to take some sap from it, if I leave an offering, there should be no problem with that. If I want to cut a branch from it, if I ask the tree, leave an offering, and it says okay, there's no problem with that. But you do need to ask, and you do need to leave an offering. So with the sap, so if I can't find any pockets that are sapping on their own, I'll just go take an X-Acto knife, light a candle under the tree, and say a prayer while I'm, a prayer or a, whatever you want to call it. I don't mind calling it a prayer, but some people are offended by that. So an incantation, if you will. Magical uses. Place the sap of the dogwood into a handkerchief on Midsummer's Eve. Well, it's not Midsummer's Eve, and that thing wouldn't be flowering on Midsummer's Eve. So, and I won't be here on Midsummer's Eve. But, if you have a calendar, you can go right to the square where it says Midsummer's Eve and write this on there. Find a dogwood and do this. Place the sap of the dogwood into a handkerchief on Midsummer's Eve. This will grant any wish you may have if you faithfully carry the handkerchief. So you need to faithfully carry it. And a great way to do that is to tuck it in your bra every day. So when you like take off your jewelry at night, I don't do that, but if you take out your hair stuff at night, set it next to your bed, you could set that, you know, there. Or just like wear it in your nightshirt or something. Like I would kind of keep it on me at all times like it was a mojo bag if it was me. So what were we saying? Oh, right. Dogwood leaves or the wood are also placed in protective amulets. So that's funny because the prettiest part to me is the flower, and Scotty doesn't have any suggestions for how to use the flower. So, you know, you would just use that intuitively, in my opinion, unless you found another way in another book to use it, which of course you could. And I have a jillion books on that have dogwood in it. I just haven't taken the time to, like, go through them all. But, my belly, did you hear it growl? That was a good one. Let's go on to another comment. That was a really good one just to quickly talk about. I think that there's over 100 videos that I've done in my older videos on different herbs from this book, but it wasn't just a quick snippet from the herb in this book. I went through all of my books at the time and looked up like everything on cranberries, pomegranates, ginger, oranges. I've done so many things. So check out taxidermy herbalism videos. Taxidermy witch herbalism videos. Okay, Thomas says, Thomas's Uncle Badger, there are still military trucks about and the town will be in a state of emergency for days, but are you talking about tea? I don't know what you're talking about, Thomas. Hi, Magical Monday. Yeah, Earthly, I was like, Magical Monday is a totally nice thing to say anyway. Nobody could get mad about that. Jen, you can call me Thomas. Okay, cool. My belly. As of 3 a.m. her time, she was at home, but... Oh. Linnea? Gotcha. Oh, tangerine. Okay. So, I think what everybody's talking about here, and I just want to say real quickly, because a few of you are on and we're such a tight community, everyone say, you know, have good thoughts, and if you can, light a candle for Tangerine, and Roman Biscotti, and Max, the little one, because their city's going through some, like, evacuation stuff. So we have to all keep her in our nearest, dearest heart, and we will. So if you're missing her and wondering where she's at, that's why. She's trying to keep in touch with us, though. Michelle says, oh my god, I love listening to ya, even when you ramble. Well, thanks. That's such a sweet thing to say. I try not to ramble, but if you see me look away or not at the camera, it's just because, I don't know, sometimes I get these messed up stomach pains too. They just really hurt. And I, for the life of me, cannot keep I have 3 candles going at a time and I can't keep them lit. Like, and they're too far to use a match. So it's not even technically an altar candle anymore because I didn't light it with the match. Since I've been home, I've had 3 candles going at once and they just, when I wake up in the morning, they're all out and there's no fan on, nothing. So I don't know what is going on with me, but that's not cool. And I hate using butane, but I love having candlelight around me. And, you know, I had said before I did get the crappier candles this time, and it's not because I chose that, it's because that's what my store switched to. You know, and I looked at the bottom and the wicks were centered. I did everything I was supposed to. I fucking blessed it. Sorry. Does my channel say 18 plus? If it does, I'm not going to worry about swearing anymore. Because I'm over it. I'm over editing myself at all. Somebody should tell me if they know if my channel is 18 plus or not, because it needs to be. Phone is dying. Love you. Otis is a snuggly gangle sausage. Snoozely gangle. What is a gangle sausage, Thomas? I am scared to ask. It's just funny. This is how my art goes. This is a teeny tiny canvas. It's good stuff. Okay, what else? I love this thing that Joyce made me. It's so cool. It's this evil eye, you know, one of these. But it's like, I think it's on mistletoe is what we, yeah. Pretty sure that that's mistletoe. You know what I've been meaning to do? Sorry about the bad camera angles and all that, you guys. I've been meaning to do a video just on the information of the stuff that Joyce sent me. Oh shit, I gotta charge my phone too. I can't even make my bed and finish that. What is going on? Ugh. Come on, cord. But yeah, so Joyce, remember right before I left for Texas, Joyce had given me that big box of stuff and jewelry and, so many nice, beautiful, friendly things. And the whole time I was on my trip, you guys sent me loads of awesome messages to make me feel better and everything, but Joyce in particular, the messages that she sent me, were so completely heartfelt and were so completely, like, brought me to tears every time I read them. Not in a bad way. I, empathetic or highly sensitively, I suppose. I'm not exactly sure. But I do, okay, so here's, like, goals for the channel, alright? I want to get back to Hoodoo in Bed. I want to get back to my Santa Muerte book. I want to get back to magical tea parties and puppet shows. I want to get back to art and things like that. So what I think I should do is, and I've done this before and it didn't work because every time I make myself do something, I like do it for like 3 weeks and then I start to trail off. But even if I did it for a month and I did like Mondays are this, and Tuesdays are this, and Wednesdays are this. And I had a set show for every day of the week. Like, Mondays we can always look forward to Monday's magical tea party and dollhouse, And Tuesdays was, like, build your own tarot deck Tuesday or something. And Wednesday was, like, herbs or, whatever. And I had this whole thing before that I did. And it was cool, and people really dug it, but it's not like, I don't know. I would also do other videos like this, like just turn on the camera whenever I felt like it, which for whatever reason you guys seem to really dig that. And I'm happy about it. So, I guess I'm saying it now. I'm going to make a calendar today and try for at least 1 month, 1 month to do, these episodes on Monday, these episodes on Tuesday. Because before you know it, so much time has gone by. I could have made so much content yesterday and the day before, but instead just chose to give in to my stomach ache and not dye my hair again. And it's like, you had so much time. What did you do, I know what I did. I recharged, and that's really important as well. And I know that. But, so yeah, that's something that I would like to do today. Perhaps when we come back from on the next live, we can sit down and make a schedule together. And maybe you guys can help me come up with some radical titles. Like, it was a combination of me and 2 other people that came up with the name of the series we did, Hoodoo, Down the Wild Unknown Road of Hoodoo. It was like one person's idea, another person's idea, and then mine, and we came up with that really rad title. So I'm going to get every day of the week what I want to do, and then maybe you guys can help me come up with what we'll call that day. You know what I mean? So I think that sounds fun. Let me know if you guys think that sounds fun. And then I'm going to try and get to comments now. Silver Willow, I'm good. How are you? It's really nice to see you. Very, very nice to see you. Raven Sandmoon, it's because you've had your entire life interrupted by doing that trip. Yeah. That is well said and very understated, but very well said. It's just, I show you guys a little bit of what's going on, but, who wants their whole personal life aired on YouTube when we're trying to focus on this other stuff? But I also want you guys to know what's going on in my heart, because you can see it. You're like, what's wrong with you? There's something wrong. Because I can't be fake. I can't cover up that I'm sad or crying or whatever. I can't do it. I've tried so many times. I can't do it. And my whole life I've been told, you're too sensitive. You need to not take things so personally. I've tried. Believe me, I've been trying to do that since I was 16. And I first started working at the Japanese restaurant, and they were so harsh, and that was the first time I heard it, you know, because I'd end up crying when I got yelled at every time. Because I could feel how angry they were. I could feel how livid they were with me. And before they even said anything, I was bawling. So one of the things I want to do on the weekly things for sure is read out of my esoteric empathy book, or just talk about my weekly journal of empathy, you know, my weekly thoughts on what I've been through empathetically, not bipolar, empath. And so yeah, that's one of my main goals, is really to help people understand that you're not mentally ill. You know, there's a good chance that you are a highly sensitive person or an empath, and people may be calling you bipolar or even manic, or what's the other one? Depressive bipolar or something like that. But yeah, people, you know, that aren't into woo-woo stuff, I'm using this word like very, very lightly, I don't know what to call it, aren't into spiritual stuff, or some people in my family call it woo-woo, then they think that the word empath means, it's like saying, I'm a fairy. Okay. Well, if you are a fairy, that's awesome. I believe that you think that you are. But if you are, you know, like, just look up these words, you know, if you are curious. Now, I always think that you should go to a psychiatrist and talk to somebody to confirm your feelings. I've actually been through many mental evaluations because I was worried about myself in the past, and I wanted to make sure, none of which told me I was bipolar. They did at one time diagnose me for ADHD and depression. Depression and ADHD are actually two big symptoms and side effects of being an empath or a highly sensitive person. So I really want to try and talk more about that and seek to give you guys more comfort, because the fact that there's a group of people that are really close to me that think that about me, they do actually watch the channel, so I'm hoping to educate them on what exactly I am, and things like that. So again, not a doctor, just a friend reading books to other friends, but I have been to medical professionals and gotten checked. I have tried depression medications in my past 2 different times. When I was 19 years old, I tried Zoloft, and it gave me night terrors, but I stuck with, you know, because my doctor's like, you gotta stick with it for 6 months before you'll start to feel good. You know, I'm like listening, like those 6 months were like, I would think in the middle of the day that there was somebody following me. It was very, very, very strange. And, you know, that's weird. Like, I think that it was really messing with my psyche. So finally, I waited the 6 months, wasn't feeling any better, got off. Second time was like 5 years ago. I became so upset that I was worried about harming myself. And so I brought myself to the psych place and said, hey, I really need an evaluation. Here's how I feel. Here's a journal. Here's my thoughts. And they were like, okay, you're highly depressed. And I was like, okay, well then put me on some medication so I can feel better, because I don't want to harm myself. I have a child. and a loving husband and family and all of that. So I did that, and my family knew what was going on, both blood family and in-laws, because, you know, it was something that my one side of the family was pushing me to do, and I had been hearing it for so long, I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. So again, and then that time I was on Prozac. Now, it wasn't as bad as the Zoloft as far as the fears and, like, not being able to sleep, but I felt not myself for the 6 months, and I never felt different, ever. I never felt different from week 1 that I took it to month 6 that I took it. But I felt like there was this giant fog, like, right in my eyes. Like, this is all the way I can describe it, because when you get off of it, it's a slow progression, too, for that drug to come out of your body. And a lot of people believe that drugs never actually leave your body. Like, the medicines stay inside of your body and don't actually ever get to leave unless you do, like, heavy cleanses and stuff. I know that we're on this weird tangent, but I just wanted to kind of talk about another thing that's going to be coming out of the Taxidermy Witch channel in the future. So basically, I just want to educate people who don't know what empathetic tendencies and highly sensitive person tendencies are, and that it's a real thing, and that it's not like calling yourself a fairy to a muggle or something like that. It's like psychiatrists today recognize highly sensitive people and empaths, so I don't understand why, you know. Alright, so next topic. Let's talk about some questions. I'm sorry about your chicken, too. Oh, Jennifer Bebo is here. Hi, darling. Jen, I have a question about a turtle. It was a pet and died at the start of winter. I wanted to save the shell, so the boyfriend put it out on the porch over winter. How do I clean it out now? Okay, Jennifer Bebo, you could get a bug tank, or you could do this method. Now, I don't know if a turtle will work, but I'm assuming that it would. So Violet Thames, I totally suggest that you go look through her content, because she is the girl that teaches me what to do. So you can either get a bug tank, which I talked about earlier in this video. It's like an aquarium. You put it together, you buy all these flesh-eating bugs, and it just goes in and leaves everything. It takes away everything, and will just leave the skull, beak, the hard bits of what you have there. What was the rest of the question? So, and then another way is that Violet will explain way better on her channel. You can get a pot with a lid, like a metal pot with a lid, and put the turtle in it, and just leave it cracked this much. So here's the, I have pots and lids, but they're under my comforter. Here's the pot, and then the lid would go here, but just have it off so it's not fully covering, so that there's a little opening and that bugs can get in and out. Okay, and that process will take 6 months, but the bug tank will take very, very, very much less time. Now, I still don't know how you get things out of the bug tank. I'm guessing a glove and tongs, but I'm going to be doing my research on these flesh-eating bug tanks. The turtle, yeah, so, look into that, because those are the two ways that come up that I can think of. Because if you just leave it out in nature, you know, something's gonna, like, haul the shell back to its den, and then, like, figure out how to, whatever. If worse comes to worse, you know, let's say for some reason you have to break it to get the stuff out, you still have the shell. That would be my last resort, of course, but definitely message Violet Thames, you guys. These are great, great questions, and I'm answering them to the best of my ability. Brenda! Hey, y'all. Throw the turtle in your roof and let the birds get at it. Nice. But a scavenger bird could haul it off. Right, and a lot of times what birds do to get the things inside of shells is they'll take the shell and they'll fly, and then they'll look for a rock and drop it so that it shatters and they can get what's on the inside. So, you know, if you just leave it somewhere, you run the risk of losing it, like Brenda said. Be young. So, you know, the flesh-eating container or the one-pot method, not one pot, oh my god, or the pot method will work. I can't believe I said that. Michelle, thank you so much, Jen, and I will totally watch that video. Cool. Aiden's here! They are definitely making offerings. Yes. One of my cats, and I think Aiden has 5 cats as well, or 4 or something, 3 or 4, announces his kills by meowing loud, and once you found a dead mouse on one of your shoes, yeah, so you're guaranteed to find it, right. No, they've brought them inside before, and I told him, I gave him the biggest pets, and I said, I just talked to him, I didn't yell at him. I was just like, Otis, you cannot bring these inside. It would make mommy so sick. You know, because they will put it on your shoe or on your pillow or somewhere that they know that you go. I've even found them in the toilet because they know that we wake up in the morning and go to the toilet. You know, somewhere where that they know that we'll see it. And it's like when you're a kid or you know, you're married or whatever, and you like have this amazing thing that happens to you and you can't wait to tell to somebody. Well, cats can't actually talk, you know, and can't really communicate with humans besides if you're, you know, feeling what they're feeling. That's their way of showing you like, hey, I really, really want you to see this. And let's just imagine yourself like you did something amazing. It's a big feat to catch a bird. Okay, cats are fast, but birds and mice are like, you know, clever and they're used to it and it's difficult. So a cat will spend months before it actually catches something. Or my cats anyway, because they're indoor-outdoor. You know, I had a cat that I would wake up and there would be like something on my chest. Never a mouse, but like feathers or one of my cats would bring cat food, like the last 2 pieces in the bowl, and then put them on my chest and then touch my face. So I wake up to this, I'm like, and then they'd actually look down to my chest and there's like 3 pieces of food. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get up and do that for you. And this same cat, if he needed something, he would lick my face to tell me that he was thirsty. I was like, okay, I gotcha. Okay. So Aiden says they are definitely making offerings. One of my cats announces his skills by meowing, so you were guaranteed to find it. Thomas, an old cat of mine used to bring decapitated mice. The neck was neatly closed up. See, Jack's are like that, whereas Otis's, it looks like a good horror movie. How do they do it, and what do they do with the head? I know! What do they do with the head? I honestly think that they keep the head for themselves. They put it somewhere in particular, like they have a collection, and I think that they bury them. And I think they keep like I think they keep a little fucking head cemetery and bring us the bodies. Because the 3 years we've been at this place, I've probably received between the 5 cats about 60 or 70 mices or birds without heads, and never once found one of the heads. Never once. So, but I do know that there's a place that they like to dig, and I don't go out there because I really, every time I want to go out there and see what they're burying, something tells me to leave it alone. So I listen to that voice that says, leave it alone. It's not mine. It's like somebody coming around and putting out one of my candles. You put out a black candle. Oh my god. Why would you fucking do that? Why would you touch anybody else's spell work? Especially the person who knew it was working. I still feel like I'm having repercussions from that black candle being put out, you know? And we'll try and do a video on black candles and all that kind of jazz, but anyway. Brenda, nice crunchy snack for them. Probably, maybe they do eat them. Maybe. Hey, Sea Willow Herbs and Tarot, how are you? I was just thinking about you this morning because I saw that you put something out. Bess is a cool name for a cat, Madam Butterfly. She says, I miss my cat Bess. She brought me all sorts, even a rare and protected shrew once. Oh, shrews are cool. She was a real hunter. I tamed her from the feral. That's hard to do as well. Unfortunately, we lost her to the road. Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. Bess is such a cool name. I like it from the Scary Stories book. You know the story Bess about the horse? And in the story, it's just a picture of a big old horse skull in a barn. And there's a fortune teller in that story, isn't there? Bye-bye, Bee. Catch you later. Catch you later. Catch you later. No, it's check you later. Dazed and confused. Heather Foley, what's up and good morning? Nello, hi! What witchery are we up to? Oh, well, we've been on for an hour, and all we were doing, we're playing a game with Otis. But he's tuckered out from the, 5 minutes that we played. I do have to finish making my bed and that. We're just talking about randoms things, and, we talked about dogwood, we talked about what's coming up for the taxidermy witch in the future, we talked about chicken's feet, I'm answering questions, we talked about me working more on my one-of-a-kind oracle decks, etc. And so also, if you guys have any ideas of, things that you're really wanting to see out of me, category-wise, now would be the time to say something like, out of all the witchcraft channels I watch, I'm not getting this from it. Okay, well, if there's something that you need, let me know, because maybe we can devise, a weekly or a bi-weekly thing for that. Excuse me. Roseanne, hi. Oh, is Tangerine here? What? Tangerine's not here. I didn't see her. Oh, thanks for doing that for Tangerine. Absolutely, Thomas. Roseanne. Hey, Jen, been a while. How was your trip? I don't know what to say to that. I was homesick the whole time. And just, I don't know. It was very, very difficult. And I wanted to come home about a weekend. So I don't think I can go on holidays for more than a week. And I learned so much from the trip. I know that it happened for a reason, but there were parts of it that were hellish because I was away from my things. I couldn't light candles. I was away from my magic. I brought stuff with me. I was an empath in houses of ends. And so it was just really difficult and draining. But it is done, and I couldn't be happier. So Nello, Tangerine is her city has to evacuate because there could be some sort of natural disaster coming. Could be. So they're just under a big warning, and so we're just telling each other that she may be taking a little break. But if you don't see her, don't worry. We're all going to try and keep in touch with each other on how she's doing. So, that's that. Vile, you do you, Jen. We watch you because we love you for you. Thanks. Swear if you like. I know, but if it's not 18 plus, I'm really not supposed to swear. Or if it says 18 plus, I can swear all I like. But if it doesn't say 18 plus, then something will come up and say, hey, you swore. You just got flagged. And I'm like, oh no. Because it's live. Yes, wanker, Heather. W and an anchor spells wanker. Ben, how are you? Ben, it's been so long. Ben found the channel 2 or 3 months ago when we were doing a live stream, and it was that 14-hour live stream I did. And that's the day that we found Ben. How have you been, Ben? Oh, Hennessy is here. Hi, Mama. Hey, Jen and everyone. I call her Hennessy because I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm talking to Jamaki. I always pronounce it wrong. I just don't. So I call her Hennessy. Freshwater Fairy's here. Hey, I'm glad you're home safe. Me too. Recharging is so important. And, yeah, it very, very, very much is. Up! Cielo took away a message. She said something that she took back. I'm sorry. I don't think it was anything bad, though. It's horrible being able to feel people's anger. It's scary as shit, especially when you're a child. And a lot of us, and it depends on what you believe in, but we tend to really, really... The empathetic ways usually start in childhood, and they usually start from a trauma. Now, I don't want to say in too many details about why mine started, but alcoholism was a part of it, and, you know, I was 3 years old when I remember some of my first memories at 3 years old, and they were all scary memories, except for, like, being out on the farm looking for kittens in the woods and stuff. But since then, when you have a family of people that you never know how they're going to react because of whatever, you start to develop that sense. And if they're not going to tell you what the problem is, small children have a really amazing way of just feeling and looking and putting those feelers out there. And I think, and from what I've read, is that we will develop these abilities as small children, usually during trauma. Yeah, I can't really share too much more about my personal, because I love my parents to death, and they're completely changed people now. But you know, we all go through our hard times. I definitely have. I don't understand. Heather said, "Oh no, don't eat road violets. They're beautiful." Okay. Is it because of the emissions from, like, anything on the side of the road that you pick, that you forage, is, you know, gonna have emissions all over it? Yeah, 6 months is way too much time. You know, it could be less. It just depends on how many scavengers are out and about. But I would get the bug tank. I mean, if anybody's, like, really, really thinking about going out and foraging bones in nature, and that's why I'm getting one. There was so much I found in Texas. If you just walk the beach for an hour and a half, you will find a dead bird. And I'm not talking about a little crow, or not that crows are little, or a little sparrow or something. I'm talking about a big tropical bird, or a crane. I found a crane, and I wanted those legs so badly, but, you know, how am I going to do that, you know? So, but we are, in fact, moving to Texas, you know, so I will be getting a bug tank as part of what I need to go. Was down the same road as you, sweetheart. The depression medicine made me worse, and I was completely suicidal because of it, and you think these doctors know best because they're doctors. Roseanne, yeah, I mean, I used to think that way a lot, especially when I was 19, before I really started getting into, like, understanding more about medications and the drive behind insurance companies and doctors and quotas and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I know that some people desperately need them and love them and live by them and are happy in their hearts with them. That is awesome. I'm so happy if they're working for you. But for me, it wasn't working. And the reason is because it wasn't what I had, you know. It wasn't something that even applied to me. But when you're 19, a lot of us don't know what an empath or a highly sensitive person. However, if people have been telling you your whole life, you're too sensitive, you need to just not take things so personally, please look into it. You're probably a highly sensitive person or an empath. Also, there's a couple channels out there, or at least 2 people I know who are saying that men cannot be empaths. It's only a female trait. That is absolute bullhunky, and I couldn't disagree more. I could not disagree more. And the person this came from was like, you are confusing me, and I'm not going to spill out names because I never do, even when I want to. Sea willow, herbs, and tarot. Zoloft was not good for me either, but I also think I have very much depression. Well, let me show you this sea willow. This is awesome. I'm so glad I found this the other day. Where is it? Where's that book? Hold on, I'm coming. Where did it go? Where did it go? Please find it. It would be perfect if I found it right now. Fuck. Okay, I have this book called, it's like a pamphlet more of, it's like super thin, and it's called Herbs for Depression and Anxiety, and it's like naturopathic ways to treat it. Oh man, one of the ones I remember were valerian, St. John's wort, and ginkgo. Those are 3 that you can take in tincture form that came out of this book. And again, I'm not a doctor, just a friend reading books and telling other friends what I've read. That really helped me get through some of my depressive things. Also, fish oil is one that can really help people. So I looked up just recently herbs to help empaths. St. John's wort was in there, and fish oil was there, valerian. So there were a few there that were herbs to help with empathy. And then it's funny because some of the same herbs also helped with depression. Well, obviously depression is certainly a side effect of being an empath, right? Take it as you will, but I just wanted to share. And as soon as I find that book, because I literally just found it the other day and I know it's around here, like really close, I will make a special video or not a special video, I'll bring it up and talk about it. Roseanne said, I would imagine streaming it would be... Seawillow says, my parents' cat catches everything. She caught a snake once and she's tiny. That's interesting. My cats haven't brought any snakes, but we really just have gardener snakes and stuff around here. Your cat eats the heads. Maybe that's what our cats are doing too. Have you actually seen that happen? Or do you just get decapitated things? Poor Jen, it's so behind in the chats. I know. Shit, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying. My mom is always sad that they are gifts. Most of the time, they eat the heads. Sometimes they bury them. Okay, bye, Bee. I know she's been gone for a while. I saw the... Hey, Rosie's here! Rosie, I haven't seen you in so long, and I've been thinking about you for a while. I don't know if you're still here. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. Yeah, the best part of leaving is getting back ASAP. I completely agree. Aiden, I never leave home either. He says it isn't safe. Here's the way I feel about that. I stopped driving, and apparently I'm going to have to start again because I have to be an adult, and I can't just, like, stop driving. Such a lame thing to say, but, yeah. Anyway, so... I just feel like driving keeps you on the record. It keeps money out of your pocket. It's way dangerous. So many people drink and drive or do drugs and drive or on drugs that make you sleepy and drive. I don't feel comfortable when I'm driving. I've thought that I've had panic attacks in my life. No. They were just anxiety attacks. I had a panic attack on the plane on the way home. We had the worst seats in the entire plane. I didn't buy my tickets. Someone else bought them for me. Back in the very, 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 very back. Never flying again unless I'm in, like, first class. And that's never going to happen because the prices are ridiculous. Very back. I'm a small person. I weighed myself this morning. I weigh 121 pounds. I lost weight on that trip because I was so stressed, and I can't seem to gain it back. These are the things that make me worried. I ate 18 spoons of peanut butter yesterday, though, so I had better have gained 1 pound. Anyway, in the airplane seat, thinking, and I'm just bawling, and I'm against the window, and I'm wishing for the aisle, but seriously, the seat is like this big. My seat won't go back, but because I'm the one that's last, the bathroom's behind me, and the engine, but the person in front of me seat goes back. I had the worst seat on the plane. Like, it's such a laughing point, and it's so, like, my wedding cake, but anyway, I'm just saying that, like, I will never be putting myself in a situation again where somebody dictates what I do. Ever. Especially for 3 full fucking weeks. I won't be doing that. But I was next to the plane, and I used to enjoy when planes took off. There was so much turbulence and getting up in the air. And then I was like, oh, I've never not flown Alaska Airlines before. That must be it. But if you were a heavyset person and you had that seat, how would you even sit there? I'm thinking if you were even like 175 pounds, which is not a big person, that's a normal sized thin man. How are you doing this? Not to mention if you're a 250 pound person. Like, it's bullshit. There's a funny mockumentary called Come Fly With Me, and it's a British show, and there's this guy, and he's always teasing, like, oh, look, you know, like, there's as much legroom as you want, because they're pretty much standing up in the seat. I'm not comfortable on an airplane at all because I'm claustrophobic, but shove me in a corner and then give me loads of turbulence. I couldn't breathe. I didn't have money to get a $20 shot of Crown Royal to calm me down. And if I ever have to fly again, and I totally don't believe in drugs, I would have to get some sort of, like, anti-anxiety or sleeping pill, or, like, knock me on the head with a 2x4 or something, because I'm getting, like, my voice is getting shaky just thinking about it. I couldn't breathe enough. I couldn't stop crying for an hour and a half straight. And when the stew came over and asked me what was wrong, I'm like, I'm having a panic attack. Meanwhile, the person next to me asked me a couple times if I was okay and then fell asleep. And I was just like, yeah. So luckily it was only a 5-hour flight. Not so long, but it felt like an eternity. And then was finally back home to Seattle. So that was kind of like the closing of the trip. And, you know how the conclusion of an essay kind of wraps up the whole thing? Brings everything together, makes everything make sense? That's kind of how I felt about it. And I realize that I'm crazy behind on the chat. Guess who's here? Sha-na-na-na-na-na! My favorite part about you joining is that I get to say that. You and Nina Bobina, but Nina Bobina doesn't join a lot, but when she joins, I'm like, Nina, Nina, Bobina, Banana, Fana, Fofina, Mima, Momina, Nina. Don't forget to smash that like button. Yeah, thanks for the 11 of you who did. I appreciate that. Trying to get caught up in the chat. Yeah, the Heather I was thinking about, like, okay, you're talking to Heather. I'm just going to skip that one. Jen, I saw you on earlier. Had to get Austin off to school. I'm sorry, I'm late. No, it's all good, hun, and I'll be coming on a few times today because there's a lot of stuff I want to show you guys, and I'm in the mood for chatting simply because you're near me. I'm in the mood for chatting. So Caitlin, hi, welcome, says, it always used to bother me when people called me too sensitive. My mother would call me that a lot, and I would fight up and down that I wasn't too sensitive, and yeah, it's really frustrating when people don't understand, or when you say, I'm an HSP or an empath, people are like, okay, are you also a fairy? Well, show me again that closed little mind of yours, because I would love to compliment you on it. Fish oil works really well, I agree. And for those of you who are vegan and don't do any fish products, I still recommend fish oil, but I would say like flax oil is what my naturopath tells me is the next best thing. But fish oil, especially the Barlean's lemon swirl, you'll want to take your fish oil. It's so good, and it's a liquid that you keep in the cooler rather than a pill that you pop in your mouth. Passion flower. Alex and I saw so many passion flowers when we were in Houston. The nurseries over there are crazy amazing. Holy basil tea. Okay, thank you, Warrior Spirit. I really appreciate that. Okay, bye, Vile. I'm so far in the chat still. Aiden says, I drove for a living for 4 years. The roads are so dangerous. Yeah, they are. And the fact that I, like, as soon as I get on them, like, I almost have to close my eyes to be in the vehicle with somebody. It doesn't feel right. Like, I shouldn't be. So, you know, if you're like, oh my god, I haven't left the cottage in 3 days, because I live somewhere where it's so hot, or the roads are dangerous, I don't like to drive, whatever, go hike. You know, if it's so hot, put on layers of clothes and, you know, a sun parasol and go hike, and then come back inside. I don't know. So yeah, sea willow, I make skullcap tincture for stress and anxiety. It helps really, really well. But if you have any other suggestions, because I know that you do a lot of tinctures. Metalhead Lovebug Goss says, I hate flying on airplanes, and some flight attendants are very rude when you... Yeah. Oh my god, don't even... She got so mad when I asked for a whole can of ginger ale. So mad. Like, I'm sorry that your job is hard. I'm sorry that I saved you a cup and like, I know I'm in the worst seat in the plane, but I should be able to have a free ginger ale. Stop laughing at me. Walnuts have omega-3s. So omega-3s are found highly in salmon, almonds, avocados, most nuts, but walnuts is walnuts is one that we just got a suggestion on. Chamomile, peppermint, yes, anxiety, depression, all empathetics folks deal with. Thank you, Roseanne. Cinnamon tea is good for a lot of stuff, I agree. Hey, I think I'm caught up. Nope. I'm almost caught up. Shauna, the last I heard was a message from Linnea about 3 a.m. Tangerine's time. She was alright and still able to be home, but the town will be in a state of emergency for days. Thank you, Thomas. There are still military truck around, but plans have been made. Oh, and tangerines, gotcha. Thomas, okay, that seems like the same message. Passion flower, milky oats, valerian, but it may make you... Oh yeah, I use valerian tincture for sleep. So I'm familiar with how to use that for sleep. Roseanne says, Sherma, good for so many health. Hey, guess what? I'm caught up. They disappeared? Why? Did you swear? Because I don't have any moderators that could have deleted them. Say them again, Madam Butterfly, because I can see them right now, because I can see you. Maybe it's your phone. Try one more time. We're going to be getting off, stopping the live in a minute, so that I can, like, brush my teeth, wash my face, do my hair, etc. I honestly went on a whim to show you guys this game that I play with Otis. I wouldn't have gotten off the plane if it was going to Alaska. That's where I want to live, and worse arthritis. You had worse arthritis in Alaska? And do you think that that's because it's cold? One thing that I realized when I got back here from being in Texas for 3 weeks was my bones and my muscles were really tight and achy when I got home, not when I was there. And it's not even particularly cold here. It's like pretty gorgeous, you know. So I don't know if that has to do with like weather, humidity, whatever. Look, here's something that I made. You guys remember when I did that thrift haul and I got these 2 things and I was like, oh, they're just kind of cheap plastic, whatever. They're not. They're actually vintage. I can't remember who, but one of my friends from the channel says, hey, look on the back, and it has all these Roman numerals, and it basically says it was made in 1965, so they're quite old, and you can tell because the mirrors are blackening. So I thought that it would be fun to... Oh, please don't fall. Please don't fall 1,000-fold. I thought it would be fun to sit here with the camera like right in front of me, so it was kind of just this. And if my hair is in a tight bun and not like all over the place, perhaps light them. But I also want to use these to do meditation and self-love workings in bed first thing in the morning. Because one of my favorite things is being surrounded by candlelight. Right, Otis? Right, Otis? Being surrounded by candlelight makes us so happy. Doesn't it, bud? And Otis knows not to play with candles. I think he tried once, and that was pretty much it for him. So yeah, I really like that little thing I set up. Otis, let's say goodbye for a minute, and then tell everybody we'll come back. Come here, bud. Come here. Come here. Tell everybody bye. Bye, everybody. Mr. Otis loves you. Tell him that you love him, Otis. Say I love you all so much. My little kitty paws. We'll see you soon. I love you, buddy. The best part of my trip was coming back home to that one. Alright, guys. We'll see you in a little bit. Maybe less than an hour.